Good Tuesday morning, Mount Olive Church family and friends. Everybody joining us online. Another week of devotions. Hope everybody's having a great start to the week. And Pastor started a new sermon series of living in victory or life of victory. This past Sunday, I hope you got to be with us and be there. Such a powerful message, and see God move. Is such a blessing. See lives changed and people saved and wanting to be baptized, and that's what it's all about. Sometimes we get caught up. Me talking to myself personally, get caught up into these other things and what's going on and all the chaos around us. And you know what? That's what it's all about. When you see people on the altar and shedding tears and moving their life and growing closer to the Lord and wanting to give their life to the Lord, hey, that's what it's all for. That's what it's all about. So thank God for that wonderful message. Title of the message: 4 C's of Conquest. The 4 C's of Conquest, or to conquer. And to give a little bit of background here, and I hope, like I said, I hope you got to watch Sunday. Hope you got to be with us. And but we see Joshua here, and that's where we're going to be in the first chapter of Joshua. And I'm going to use the second verse. And but we talked about Pastor talked about Joshua, and he's about to become the next leader. Joshua knows what he's about to get into, and Joshua was prepared. Joshua was prepared to do this job. There was one point that I loved. Pastor brought out at the very first of the sermon, and he was talking about the difference in hearing and difference in listening. And there's a big difference. And even as leaders, we have to be willing to listen to God, not just to hear, but we have to cut all the other distractions out. We have to focus to intently, right? Is that the way I think he put it? To be able to intently hear. And I thought that was a great point that Pastor brought out Sunday. And so we see here that Moses has passed away and God is speaking directly to Joshua. Hey, this is what you're going to do. So the C, he gave out those 4 C's. I'm going to do number 2. I thought that's the one that stuck to me from Sunday. All of them really did. Number 4, claim. I battled with that one. Or number 3 was claim. I battled with wanting to do a devotion on that one, but hopefully one of the other guys is going to pick that one up. And yeah, that one really spoke to me as well. But I want to talk about the second C, and that being command. And verse 2 says this: Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise. Go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, into the land which I do give them, even unto the children of Israel. And you can see here that Joshua he's in a place, he's by himself, and God speaks to him and says, all right, it's your time. It's time to step up. It's time to get up. It's time to arise. Therefore arise, he said. So, what's he saying? And some of the points that I wrote down Sunday morning in my notes that I thought were really kind of stuck out. Number 1, God commanded Joshua to go somewhere that was challenging. What he was getting ready to take on was not something that was in his comfort zone, so to speak. God speaks to us a lot of times, and he will ask us to go somewhere challenging. He asked him to do something that was very hard. It's not always easy. Leadership is very hard sometimes. Leadership can be very lonely sometimes. Leadership can get discouraging when we get into self sometimes. I'm speaking to me with that. Sometimes when we're looking too much, like I said, on the chaos of the outside, leadership can be challenging. It's hard. He knew he was going to lead difficult people. Think about these people. Think about the children of Israel and all that God had done. And time again, even when Moses was leading, we seen that they would take a step forward, then they would question. They would take a step forward, and then they would question. God would provide, and then they would question. God would provide, then they would say they didn't have enough, or why do we do this? And there were times that they really wanted to stay. They said, why didn't we just stay where we were at? Why didn't God just leave us as slaves? He knew he was going to lead some difficult people. But Joshua was the man for the job. Here's the point that I took out of Sunday that I thought that's really stuck out to me. God didn't choose someone he knew couldn't do the job. If God's calling you into a work, or God has called you to lead in something, or God has called you to do something, and whether that is being a deacon, whether that's being a door greeter, whether that's being on the worship team or singing in the choir, whatever that may be, God is not going to choose people that can't do the job. He is enough. We're not in ourselves. Jody's never going to teach, preach, or even get on here and learn how to do a devotion without the help of God. But through Jesus, God gives us the power to arise. God gives us the power to arise out of our situations. And I think also another point that stuck with me is sometimes we just get so down and out. And hey, I'm open, transparent with you guys, right? I even shared with Pastor Sunday. Me and him sit around and talk for 30 minutes after church, and I told him I've just been so discouraged lately. I've just been so beaten down, and it's time to get up. It's time to arise. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to go to the altar on a Sunday morning. And I don't go up there with the thoughts of, well, people's going to think he's an assistant pastor. Is he going to that altar, and what's the matter with his life? And you know what? There's times I need that altar is for us as Christians and for us as leaders. And I prayed Sunday morning on the altar, God, give me the strength to arise. And he will. It's just me doing it. And it's the same for you today. It's the same for you. I'm getting too long on this. I've got to cut off. Through Jesus, last point, through Jesus, God gives us the power to rise no matter what you're battling today, no matter what you've been facing. Get up out of that slump. God is telling you to arise. He's got something for you. He's got a plan for you, and he will have you prepared to do that. Okay? Arise. Everybody arise. God's commanding you to arise. Love you guys. Hope everybody has a great day. Great rest of the week. Remember to pray for me. And as always, I'm praying for you. God bless you all. Love you.